Hello. This is a story called The Secret of Trees, and it's by Megan McKenna. I've had it for so many years, I don't recall exactly what magazine I found it in. But it goes like this. Once in the days following the very beginning of all things, there lived a tree, and it was old as trees go, piney, well-lined and scarred from time and heat and the random blows from skies handing out rain and lightning touches. Each year, the tree ritually shed its needles until a thick bed of them covered its feet and softened its stretching out to the space around it, a few fingers at a time. It looked like all the other trees in the woods, except for one small detail. Inside the tree lived a fox. Yes, a fox. Now, foxes, I know, usually live in hollow places in the ground, but when this tree was young, it had been hit by a nearby falling tree and had had a good part of its insides laid bare, and it had taken years of growth for the tree to cover the hole. Meanwhile, the tree had felt bad about its emptiness, especially since the spot was so close to its foundation. The tree was always afraid of someday being cut off near the ground, which was its weakest place. The fox discovered the hole one day, and for some reason always returned to just that hole in that tree. And eventually the fox moved in. He'd been there so long now that the tree had come to believe that it was natural for other creatures to live in one's hollow, empty spaces. As more and more time passed, the tree began to wonder what the fox would do for a home when the tree fell because of the weakness of its internal structure. Before such a thing happened, the tree decided it had to find a home for its house guest, the fox. Now, there was a tree living next door, but it was a thin, fragile tree that turned light green in spring and nearly died each summer. It wasn't suited to housing anyone. It could hardly stand up by itself. But the two trees had stood close to each other for such a long time. And one day, then, the pine tree shared its concern over the fox's fate with its thin friend. A neighboring tree thought about it and said, I'm thin and young as trees go. I'm still growing quickly. It thought some more and it hit upon an idea. Why don't I just shift a bit and start growing among your roots, right up alongside your old scar? That will strengthen your base. And it should still leave a place for the fox to live for a long time to come. I might even live a little longer myself, since I don't really do too well when the seasons change and my thin covering begins to crack and tremble. And so it was agreed. The young tree crept over, and the old tree leaned to accommodate its nearness. The fox was happy too. In fact, all the other trees were very impressed at the strengths and length of time that the two trees lasted together after that. Ever since then, if you walk in a forest, any forest, you'll notice that all the roots run together and the trees often fall over each other, living so closely that if one needs to lean, then there's another near enough to hold it up. And if you listen, you will hear in the silent woods the secret of the trees that stand against time. Leaning can make you live forever. Your weakest place can be someone's home. May you lean happily for many, many years to come.